I declare the meeting open and welcome all, welcome councillors, staff and members of the public in the public gallery, and also community members viewing via the live streaming. The City of Swan acknowledges the traditional custodians of the region, the Whadjuk Noongar people of the Noongar Nation, and their continuing connection with the land, waters and community. We pay our respects to elders past, present and their descendants. The disclaimer I'll now read out. The terms of and conditions of entry into this meeting are posted on the door as you enter. Please ensure that you have read them prior to attending this meeting and abide by them. Attendance and apologies. We have a full contingent apart from Councillor Kerr. Councillor Kerr has joined us. We have Councillor Congerton and Councillor Nav Kaur who are attending via live streaming. Welcome. And we do have apologies from Mayor Richardson and Councillor Bowman. Our councillors, as I said, this meeting is being live streamed, and we need to keep some decorum. Okay, Councillor Congerton and Councillor Kaur, I need some confirmation that you are in a place which confidentially can be, if you can confirm your confidentiality.
I
Councillor
can
Congerton.
confirm that I can confirm where I'm at is secure.
Thank you. Councillor Kaur.
Yeah, thank you. I confirm the confidentiality and the privacy of the location. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, we're going to get on with the business of the meeting. As everybody knows, this is a reconvened meeting, as the meeting of the 11th of March 2026 was adjourned and was named to reconvene on the 18th of March, which is today at 7 p.m. Now, I do have a proposed motion from Councillor Congerton, who wishes, as per clause 2.23, the city's meeting procedure, local laws, to change the order of the business to allow Councillor Congerton to participate in the debate, as he has a prior engagement to attend.
Seconded.
So I have the motion from Councillor Congerton. I ask for a seconder. Councillor Henderson. I'll ask the question, is there anyone against?
Question.
Councillor Johnson.
Mr. Presiding Member, what is the motion? Can we have it read out?
The motion is to bring forward the confidential item so that that can be dealt with upfront, because then Councillor Congerton needs to leave.
Yes, I have an objection.
You have an objection?
Yes, I do.
Yes. Okay, do we need to debate it, or can we put it straight to a vote? I think I'll just put it straight to a vote.
I'd like to debate why I'd like to object it.
Okay, Councillor Congerton, do you wish to speak as the mover?
Thank you very briefly, Mr. Acting Mayor. As I indicated, that I'm not able to attend the full meeting this evening. This is a very important item, and I'd like to be present to debate the item when it's presented.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor Henderson, as the seconder, you wish to speak?
Nothing further to add.
Thank you. Councillor Howlett.
Thank you, and I appreciate Councillor Congerton would like to participate. This is really actually more favourable to the people in the gallery who've attended tonight. They actually came last week to listen to a motion and to disturb them again, in the community to ask them to leave so that we can facilitate a councillor's request, I think is a bit unreasonable. So I would like to continue with the order that we have in the run sheet, please.
Thank you, councillor. Are there any other speakers? Speakers for? Speakers against? If there's no other speakers, I'm going to put it to the vote. Those in favour? Do you wish to have a right of reply, Councillor Congerton?
Well, Mr. Acting Mayor, I would say that this has happened on many other occasions. So it's not a first, and I appreciate there are people were in the gallery when we asked them to vacate. There's people in the gallery tonight, although I can't see half of what's going on in the chamber with the broadcast. But I don't think it's unreasonable to ask people to leave for possibly a shorter period of time. So it's not unusual.
Thank you. I'll now put it to the vote. Those in favour? Nine. Councillor Aringo, Councillor McCulloch, Councillor Takero, Councillor Miles, Councillor Henderson, Councillor Predovnik, Councillor Kaur, Councillor Congerton and myself, which is 9. Those against? Councillor Catalano, Councillor Dean, Councillor Johnson and Councillor Howlett, which is 4. Motion is carried. At this point, I will say to the members of the public in the public gallery, very apologies for the inconvenience, but hopefully it will be just a very short time and you'll be recalled. So if you could leave the chamber, please.
Just need a motion to go on.
At this point, we do need a motion to go behind closed doors. Councillor Miles?
I'll move that.
Yes. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Johnson. Is there anyone against? No one against. I declare it carried unanimously.
Excuse me, Mr. Chair, I have to leave the meeting.
Thank you, councillor Congleton.
Just to, when they come back, it'd be appropriate to read out.
Because the rest is going to be confidential. It's just public to.
Point two.
Yeah. Oh, sorry, no, sorry. Forget me.
So I think
Don't,
he
sorry.
just needs to read out
Yes,
the.
the whole thing. Is it on screen?
Where is it? There's nothing on the screen.
Yes.
This one.
Got it?
I'll read the whole lot.
That's it.
Can you just
Yes.
put it?
Do you want it a bit bigger?
No. Okay, have we got live streaming back? We have. Thank you and welcome back to members that were on live stream and also members of the public that were in the public gallery. Once again, I apologise for taking so long. Okay, I'll now read out the recommendation. And the recommendation is that council resolve to 1, council authorise the Chief Executive Officer to negotiate the sale price to be within the valuation range as outlined in the report. 2, should negotiations be successful, authorise the Chief Executive Officer to commence public advertising for the proposed disposition in accordance with section 3.58 brackets 3 brackets A of the Local Government Act 1995. 3, if any submissions on the proposed disposition are received, a report will return to council for the final decision under section 3.58 brackets 3 brackets B of the Local Government Act 1995. And 4, if no submissions are received, the Chief Executive Officer is authorised to finalise the disposition on the terms as contained in this report. Thank you. Okay, councillors, we'll now go back to the agenda as was, and the next item is item 14.15, and that is the proposed City Depot Master Plan. And we have a proposed motion by Councillor Johnson. Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Member. My motion is that Council resolve to thank the staff for the City of Swan Operations Master Plan. 2, request the CEO proceed with public consultation on the Master Plan and advertise the City of Swan Operations Master Plan seeking public submissions. To report to Council on the outcome of public submissions at the ordinary Council meeting of 10th of June 2026. Reason for the motion, that experience with the Paradise Quays Master Plan and the Midland Oval Redevelopment Master Plan was that community consultation is essential to the success of a master plan. 2, the 13th of February 2019 ordinary meeting of Council resolved at agenda item C 1.2 that the Council resolves to direct the CEO that all master plans created by the City be advertised at the concept stage for community consultation, followed by a report for Council approval prior to any contract for sale or development agreement or other irreversible agreement being signed by the CEO or Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Howlett. Is there anyone against? There is. You wish to debate it? Yes, Councillor Johnson, please open the debate.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Presiding Member. So why do we need to go out to public consultation on the Depot Master Plan? The reason being this, councillors, this is the 3rd master plan I've seen on council, and I was just counting earlier, I think 5 councillors around the table have experience of those 3 master plans. The first master plan, I give by way of example, is the good old Midland Oval Redevelopment Master Plan, and that emerged in the public forum fully formed in November 2015. Council approved the original MORM without any public consultation, and the result was at least 2 years of community intense opposition. The financial outcome has been reported out in our annual reports, and as I've said previously, after only 10 years, only 1 building has been constructed. If only we'd listened. Paradise Keys was the next master plan to be announced, and the community in Ballajura strongly objected. We learned from the second master plan that the key to improving community acceptance was community consultation. In February 2019, Council resolved, after learning the hard way, to go out to community consultation before approving future master plans. Now we have this depot master plan. What do all three master plans have in common? Any guesses? Yes, City of Swan. But in every case, we've been told we absolutely must approve the master plan immediately or very bad things will happen. In this case, the very bad things that will happen, and have been presumably going on since the 1960s when it was built, are workplace health and safety impacts on the depot staff. So we have to approve this right now without going out to public consultation. So, councillors, that's where we're at. Now, as I said in 2019, it's like having a gun held to your head when making the decision. That's how it feels as a councillor. You're told you absolutely have to vote for this or the sky's going to cave in. In this time round, the CEO says we have to do this. But on this occasion, we've waited until since 2017, when previously we decided not to proceed with the depot changes. Why can't we wait a few more months and do community consultation? Now, what I said in 2019 was councillors encouraged to vote for the master plan as though we're like the gods on Mount Olympus in ancient Greece, moving the pieces around on earth without a care in the world. Councillors, those days are long gone. Mythology from 2,500 years ago. This is actually what was in my speech. And here we are as community representatives, and we need to do just that. We need to be community representatives and represent the community. And we know what the community want. From past experiences, they want public consultation on master plans, and this council has previously resolved in that way. I guess I should have drawn this to the CEO's attention prior to him bringing this to the council agenda.
Councillor, you've run out of your 3 minutes. Thank you.
Can I have another minute? I've got about 3 sentences.
Extension.
You're moving? Move Councillor Howlett. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Predovnik for a one minute extension.
Yeah, 1 minute.
Is there anyone against? No one against. Carry on, Councillor Johnson.
Thank you, Mr. Presiding Member, and thank you, Council. Look, Council, if we don't go out to community consultation, we won't know for sure what the community think. We need effective and meaningful consultation. We've learnt that. If we don't get that, we can't effectively represent them in the council chamber. This master plan has been confidential until very recently. Very few people out there know about it. Approving the master plan without consultation is fire, ready, aim, instead of the more appropriate ready, aim, fire. I'm not sure which they teach at Dontroon, but I'm pretty sure it would be ready, aim, fire. Councillors, Council did resolve in 2019 to go to community consultation on all master plans. In 2019, we learned a lesson. If we don't remember the lessons of history, we're doomed to repeat it. Have we remembered the lesson, and are we prepared to go out to consultation? Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Councillor Howlett, as the seconder, you wish to speak?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillors, I want to fully acknowledge the complex challenges, inadequacies, deficiencies of the current City of Swan depot. And I want to thank the staff for their continued patience. It is no longer fit for purpose, that's obvious, certainly to serve the largest metropolitan local government area that is growing rapidly through the Northern Corridor. The fact is, this should have been dealt with decades ago by a former council who were very aware of the growth plan for this city. Yet here we are, proposing to fit a square peg into a round hole. Unlike a recreation centre or a library, the Operations Centre services 100% of the residents and ratepayers in the City of Swan. Therefore, it stands to reason that with the huge capital expenditure required and the financial and service ramifications for generations to come, that this master plan is best served with full transparency and an invitation for direct engagement by the city's ratepayers. Failure to do this will not pass the pub test for the City of Swan residents. Councillors, to paraphrase Frank Zappa, transparency is like a parachute. It doesn't work if it's not open. This master plan must go to public consultation if we are to secure the confidence and the support of our ratepayers as we spend municipal funds paid for through their rates.
Thank you, Councillor Howlett. Councillors, I need a speaker against. Councillor Miles.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. I would just start off by saying, yes, we have had community consultation with our previous master plans, and that's a good thing. Obviously, well, not obviously, but I am for one a big advocate for community consultation, and I think it's important that our ratepayers and our residents have, input in infrastructure and plans that we make as a council. However, the previous master plans cited, being the Midland Oval and Paradise Keys, are sites or planned sites where we have a change in use where with this master plan, the Operations Centre is continuing to be so, and the depot, which has been like that for decades. Further, with community consultation, what is the scope of this? Are we allowing the people that are just in the small vicinity of the Operations Centre to influence the ability for this council to provide services to the whole local government area, which would, I think, be a bad balance to strike?
Point of order.
What's your point of order, Councillor?
Relevance. There was no discussion about a couple of people in the vicinity of this. This is about the master plan going out for full consultation. It's not about a couple of people in the vicinity.
No. I'll rule against. Carry on, Councillor.
Yeah, to clarify for the benefit, I'm talking about community consultation. You two brought up community consultation. I'm going to talk about that, and I think I have a right to do so. Further,
Point of order.
What's your point of order?
My point of order is that I'm trying to find the number. 721E, I found his expression, you two, to be insulting, actually. I'm Councillor Howlett, not you two.
I'll hold Councillor Miles. Please address councillors.
that's fair enough. I apologise. Councillor Howlett, Councillor Johnson is who I was referring to. But I've lost my train of thought. That was the idea, wasn't it? Of course. And I'm probably going to get point of order for that. I'll just say we should approve this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Miles. I need a speaker for the motion. No speakers for. Are there any other speakers against? Councillor McCulloch.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillors, I think Councillor Miles touched on the importance of the definition of community consultation and the resolution in 2019, and that was based on new developments and the proposed commercialisation of land. There was an amendment during the debate to adjust the scope. It is still aligned to developments that entail sale of land or entering into development agreements. The Depot Master Plan entails none of those options or requirements, and there is no intention to dispose of any land as part of the master plan. This is based on a continuing use, and the site remains the optimum location to provide services to support the city's current needs and to meet growth requirements for at least the next 10 to 15 years. So community consultation, yes, for a new development on new land, for our growing City of Swan, as we are an urban growth council, and I can imagine within that 10 to 15 years there'll be serious considerations to expansion of our services and new developments, and that's quite possibly where community consultation will come in. Again, I don't know these gross generalisations. We know what the community want. Yes, I know what some of the community want, but I don't know what every one of the thousands and thousands and thousands of residents in our community want. I don't have time to sit down and have a cup of tea with them all and get my notepad out. I think that we need to seriously look at what is in front of us and I'm going to leave it there. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor McCulloch. I need a speaker for the motion. No speakers for. Any other speakers against? Councillor Henderson.
Trying not to delay the meeting, but there's a couple of factors I wanted to bring up. It was implied that there's been a failing on the council's behalf to not take into account the growth that we've seen. Well, I didn't have a crystal ball in 2017 because back then I was against doing significant works at the depot site because it was going to cost about $9 million, I think. And in hindsight, I'm actually glad that I was against it then because we have grown so much. And when I say we've grown so much that it's beyond the expectations that I had. City of Swan has exploded at the seams. And the fact of the matter is that our residents expect us to get on and provide the services that they demand. And to do that, we need an appropriate place to service all of the machinery, the people, and the office workers. So given that, and given that we are going to expect in front of us already a lot more growth, we really do need to get on with this rather than delay. This that should not be delayed. This process doesn't have justification for delay. We have been talking about the depot for years and years and years. Community are well aware of it, and for that fact alone is the reason that we need to get on with it, because they do know what we're doing.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. Do I have any speakers for the motion? Any other speakers against? There being no other speakers, Councillor Johnson, you wish to close the debate.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Presiding Member. Yeah, look, councillors, there are 55 million reasons why we need to go out to public consultation. I've already spoken about the financial impact on our ratepayers. I think our ratepayers do need to have a say in this. Very few of them know about it. They know we collect our rubbish, but they probably don't realise we have a depot that needs renewing in Middle Swan. There was some mention by Councillor Henderson of a crystal ball. There's no crystal ball in my motion. Councillor Henderson spoke about growing so much. The city has grown extraordinarily. And that's one of the reasons why we need to go out to public consultation. Councillors, the Middle Swan site, the depot, could be a satellite site. We probably need to build a new site further north, nearer to the centroid of operations, as has been explained by quite a few times. One interesting thing was that one councillor said that oh, I've lost my train of thought because of the point of orders. Well, that's what point of orders do. So the prime exponent of points of order is not here tonight. Optimum location was right. We're not sure it is. Councillors, as I said before, I don't think so far south, so far from the centroid of operations is the best location. And I think Councillor McCulloch said something along the lines of these gross generalisations. Councillor McCulloch said she doesn't know what the community are thinking. And I'd say that's why we need to go out to community consultation. We need to know what they think about this. They might have some interesting ideas that we don't know about. They certainly had some interesting ideas on the Midland Oval and Paradise Keys. And we got, I think Councillor Miles said it's not a change in use. Well, it is a change in use, actually. It's currently zoned residential. Okay, it's got it's been used as a depot for many, many years. But it is zoned residential. That's why it needs to go out to public consultation. And what's the scope of consultation? The scope of consultation is not people on Railway Street or Bishop's Road or Great Northern Highway or people in Vivash. It's the entire city. It's the entire residents, ratepayers, electors, and people who use the city, including the business people. Everybody, they're the people we need to hear from. It's $55 million we're going to spend, and when rates end up going up by more than inflation, people will be, this particular year, they'll be wanting to know why. So we need to let people know. I've got another 19 seconds, but I won't waste it.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Councillors, I'll now put it to a vote. Those in favour? Councillor Catalano, Councillor Johnson and Councillor Howlett. Those against? Councillor Dean, Councillor Orengo, Councillor McCulloch, Councillor Tequero, Councillor Miles, Councillor Kuhn, Councillor Henderson, Councillor Predovnik and myself. No,
Yep.
10-3.
I'm against as well.
No, 3-9. 3-9 because Councillor Congleton's gone. The motion is lost 3-9. Three, yeah. Councillor Carr, are you against?
Yes, I'm against.
No, well,
That's correct.
she's against, so that's 9. The 3 are 4. So it's 3-9. Councillor Carr was against. Okay, that is lost. So we'll move to the next motion on the same item, and that is from Councillor Catalano.
That Council resolve to 1. Not endorse the City of Swan Operations Centre Master Plan, including delivery of the new Operations Centre building at Lot 5, number 211 Great Northern Highway, Middle Swan Operations Depot. Not support the Strategic Operations Facilities Review 2026 in the confidential attachment. Request the CEO to undertake planning for the relocation of the City of Swan Operations Centre and the location of the Strategic Operations Facilities to the 35 hectares site already owned by the City at 121 Stock Road, Bullsbrook, and 4. Maintain residential zoning at Lot 5 Great Northern Highway, Middle Swan for future divestment for residential housing. Reasons for the motion. 1. A key planning principle is that planning decisions should not be made on an ad hoc basis to undermine existing plan zonings that should give current and future landowners certainty, reliability and create no detriment, particularly to those who have invested in accordance with the current zoning. The Middle Swan Operations Depot land was zoned residential, and it is likely property owners would have relied on the current residential zoning when investing in residential in the area. 3. Near to the Middle Swan Operations Depot, the landowner continues to successfully work through contamination issues, so land once the site of the biggest brickworks in the Southern Hemisphere has now been transformed into a significant number of residential lots. 4. The cost of pulling down and rebuilding facilities at the Middle Swan Depot in the middle of a residential area at a site being used by operations would be more than planning and constructing from scratch at a new site. The City of Swan owns a 35-hectare site at 121 Stock Road, Bullsbrook, already appropriately zoned industrial, which could accommodate the operations centre and the other strategic operations facilities. 6. Both Midland and Bullsbrook are equally on the periphery of the city's boundaries. 7. The city should invest now in preparatory work to construct both the Strategic Operations Facilities and the City of Swan Operations Centre at 121 Stock Road, Bullsbrook, which is a location closer to where the people are now living and will be in future living, as a currently around 90,000 residents live in the new suburbs of Bullsbrook, Ellenbrook and the Growth Corridor, compared to 60,000 people in Midland and the established suburbs of Altone Ward. B. By 2050, there will be 150 to 200,000 residents living in Bullsbrook, Ellenbrook and the Growth Corridor, compared to just 70,000 in Midland and Altone established suburbs combined. 8. 121 Stock Road Bullsbrook site has good transport links via Stock Road, Northlink, Tonkin Highway and Drumpelli Avenue for the location of the Strategic Operations Facilities and the City of Swan Operations Centre. 9. 121 Stock Road Bullsbrook, being close to transport links and the majority of Swan residents, is the most efficient and therefore least costly location for the Strategic Operations Facilities and the City of Swan Operations Centre, with less time and energy spent on transportation of waste, maintenance and other operations crews around the city between places where people are living and operating businesses and Operations Service Centre and the Operations Service Centre. 10. Spending $50 million on an operations facility at Middle Swan is an ad hoc plan, is a poor use of ratepayers' money, will cause disruption to nearby residents and will create disruption to the city's operation team for a short lifespan of only around 10 to 15 years. 11. The $50 million should be invested now into planning and developing 121 Stock Road Bullsbrook into the primary strategic operations facilities and the City of Swan Operations Centre, as it is the best use of ratepayers' funds, investing into the most efficient and cost-effective way of providing operation services to the majority of the city's residential, agricultural and business users for many decades into the future.
Thank you, Councillor. I need a seconder. Councillor Howlett. Councillors, in the event that Councillor Catalano's motion is lost, I'll need a council member to foreshadow the officer's recommendation. Councillor Henderson, you foreshadowing?
I will be in my debate,
Okay.
and I'm against the motion.
Okay, is there anyone against? Obviously there is. We're going to debate it. Councillor Catalano, you wish to open the debate?
Thank you. Last week I talked about ad hoc planning, and once again it is actually ad hoc planning to come up. It's this land was the depot was zoned residential. People have relied on it, and it's not just a couple of people living in the vicinity. In fact, we've got that huge residential suburb in Midland Brick that is actually also probably in reliance on it. I mean, we've got to remember that's a gateway to Midland. So, seriously, it's more than just a few people in the vicinity, which is quite offensive, in fact, in itself. Anyway, the master plan and its rezoning, the community knew. The community did not know that it was going to be retained as a depot. They thought it was going to be residential because that was what the rezoning was changed to. So the City Depot Master Plan reports included the confidential report, the contents of which I can't talk about tonight. Do not convince me that this is anything other than ad hoc decision-making that is not proper and orderly. I cannot agree that Council should do a U-turn on its previous decision for the land to be residential, which is what, as I've said, quite a lot of people have already relied on. They've made investments in the area. Due consideration hasn't been given to councillors. I don't believe so. I've read the briefing and the briefing notes and also the report, and I don't think there's enough reasons in there. And existing landowners in the area haven't definitely not been given enough of that information. It's, I think, seriously misguided for council to support a massive industrial overdevelopment at the depot, $50 million, with a shelf life of just 15 years, when we've got land in Bullsbrook, already owned by the city, zoned industrial. That's where the majority of people are already living. That's where the huge numbers of people are going to be living in the future. They are the people that need to be serviced. And it's orderly and proper, in fact, for us to start thinking about it now, not in 10 or 15 years' time, when in fact we've got a little depot down here. This is 15 years' time, a little depot down here, and we've got 250,000 people up there in those northern parts of the city of Swan. That's what we're supposed to be doing now. That's what planning's about. It's planning now for the future, for those 15 years down the track. And that's what we should be doing, and that's what my motion is putting that, that's what I'm suggesting. We should be asking the staff to start putting up those plans and getting those designs done and start investing in those services up in that area. And there's no reason why they shouldn't be there. The transport infrastructure is all there. It's actually the most effective and efficient way of servicing
Councillor,
residents.
you've run out of time. I've allowed an extra 30 seconds. So,
Okay, thank you.
thank you. Councillor?
Okay. Do you want me to carry on?
No,
Oh, okay.
no. You went 30. I allowed an extra 30. Councillor Howlett, as the seconder, you wish to speak?
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Councillors, this is prime residential land that will return rates in perpetuity. It's going to give us money. That is what we as a council decided before my time. It is strategically located close to the Swan River, where we will attract high values out of our sales. It is a prime residential location. This location is no longer fit to operate as an operations depot. It requires massive road changes to facilitate that at Lloyd Street, Bishop Road and Railway Avenue. Bullsbrook is the logical, smart, future planned decision that we should be making. I urge you to support Councillor Catalano's motion to investigate 121 Stock Road, Bullsbrook.
Thank you, Councillor Howlett. I need a speaker against. Councillor Henderson.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Okay, we're saying, I'm hearing around the room that this might have a 15-year shelf life. Well, it might have 15, it might have 20, but again, we talked about a crystal ball earlier, didn't we? Anyhow, the point I'll make is that we actually need this facility now to service what we have now. And in the future, it's very probable that we're going to have to develop Stock Road as a future facility. So don't for a minute think that argument stands up, that we should just simply shift it all out there. I want to come back to a key point here. The staff spent a considerable amount of time and effort briefing us broadly and in fact in detail, should I say, on what the needs are, what the best positioning is, what we have now, all of those things. We have been given the briefing. We actually understand the detail, councillors. So for those that attended, that information was given, and I thought the information was quite valuable because it showed travel times, the amount of cost for staff, wear and tear on vehicles. It even went down so far as to look at staff costs and all that sort of stuff. So the point is, this is the right location. So that's key point. Now, I heard the other one that it's zoned residential. Well, actually, yes, but we talked about earlier about we're going to make rates out of residential. One councillor in particular mentioned that, well, we get $1 and we spend $1. So I think that argument falls away. Now, road changes. We all know that the Lloyd Street will become 4 lanes one day, and we know that the works at Great Northern, Rowe and Reed will come to fruition one day, and that will all interface directly through to this. So it will actually be a central point with proper road connectivity into our city. So councillors, I struggle to understand why we're seeing that this shouldn't come together. The fact is, we've been talking about it for years, we've been briefed on it, we understand it, and we should in fact progress it. So I foreshadow the officer's recommendation should this fail.
Thank you, councillor Henderson. I need a speaker for the motion.
Question
Question, councillor Predominant.
through you, Deputy Mayor. We're looking at a $50 million investment. I just wanted to double check. Will we still use the depot in 10 or 15 years? From what I understand, we're creating satellite sites in Ellenbrook and Bullsbrook. So can someone confirm that we still will be using that site? If we are.
Mr McPherson.
Through you, Deputy Mayor, yes, the proposal in a nutshell would be to adopt a hub and spoke model, and as long as there is residents in Middleton and in the southern and western portions of the city, that will be a strategic site.
Thank you. I need a speaker for the motion. No speakers for. Councillor Johnson.
Yeah, thanks, Mr. Presiding Member. Look, what I've heard against the motion is that in the future we may need to develop Stock Road. So, councillors, I guess one way to look at that is if we may need to develop Stock Road, we know how long it as a depot, and we know how long it takes to plan these things. Maybe we need to plan for it now, and maybe that's why you should be voting for Councillor Castellano's motion. We've also been told, we've been briefed, councillors, we've been briefed. You've been told exactly why we need this. It's been explained in endless workshops for those of you who attended. But we are expected to think for ourselves. So councillors are expected to have an independent point of view, and they're supposed to bring their skills and experience as community representatives to this room and to consider what to do. So we're not a rubber stamp. Alternative viewpoints are quite important. Then there was, we had a comment about struggling to understand. Well, I'll just basically suggest reading the agenda. And there was a question about the $55 million.
Point of order.
Councillor Johnson, resume your seat. What's your point of order, Councillor Henderson?
723, I think it is. No, it's not. It's 71F. Presentation of false or misleading information. That is false because I do read the agenda.
Councillor Johnson, please resume without. Please don't refer to or make comments with regards to things that
Okay,
are
so
not fact.
thank you, Mr. Presiding Member. I guess what we're saying is we've read the agenda, but we struggle to understand it. No,
That
take
is insulting, councillor.
Thank you.
It's not worth another.
An
It's
apology
not.
should be.
I apologise.
Thank you.
I apologise, Mr. Presiding Member. And I had a question about the $55 million from Councillor Predominant. I was hoping somebody would ask, can we afford it? And I guess the question is this: can we afford it? Is it the right thing to do? Because if we spend all this money in this particular location, and it turns out to be the wrong place because the majority of the demand for the services is up north in the northwest Ellenbrook and the northern suburbs of the city of Swan. We've sunk $55 million into a very sophisticated super depot with lots of facilities, office facilities, workshop facilities, car parking facilities, and so forth, but it's in the wrong place. So that's really what Councillor Catalano's motion is about. And yes, councillors, I'm sure everyone's read and understood the agenda. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Do I have a speaker against? Councillor Miles.
Look, I'll be brief. I think we've talked about this a lot, but council has been informed on the options. Staff did detailed investigations, and this was the best option. Continuation of services, enhancement, and efficient use of council funds. And, you know, I don't think we talk about this enough, but Midland is the strategic centre of Perth. All the services are down here. We have Hazelmere and connections to waste transfer and waste to energy facilities. Not only this, and I think we need to talk about this more, but we have a responsibility to our staff who are currently working out of the operations facility, and that place does not meet modern health and safety standards. And there was a fiduciary responsibility mentioned in this debate, but we have a responsibility to the human beings that we employ and the services that they provide to the ratepayers in the rest of the City of Swan. So I think we just need to get on and do it.
Thank you, Councillor Miles. Do I have a speaker for the motion? Are there any other speakers against? There's no speakers for or against. Councillor Catalano, you wish to close the debate?
You just don't need a crystal ball, I'm afraid. The facts are there will be 250,000 people living to the west and to the north of the Swan Valley, and Middle Swan is south of the Swan Valley. Crystal ball gazing, we know that Lloyd Street will become 4 lanes one day. No, we don't. Midland as a strategic centre, for how long? 250,000 people. The facts speak for itself. That is where you need to put the operations centre. Now, you need to plan for it now. We need to invest in it now, so that in 15 years' time, we have an operations centre that is servicing those 250,000 people, rather than an operations centre that's trundling all its trucks up through the Swan Valley and spending the diesel and the time in getting there, or going all the way along Roe Highway and up Drumpellier to service all the people in the growth corridor, right? Time and diesel, when it should all be located on an industrial site that we already own, 35 hectares. We know we own it because it's a fact. We don't need to have crystal balls. What we need to do is make the right decision today. And I just want to say one other thing. $55 million, I can tell you it'll be $120 million. If every other expenditure item that I've agreed to in this council has got anything to go by, twice that amount of money, and we'll have a service centre that is actually not fit for purpose. We'll have our staff doing unnecessary mileage, spending diesel that we can't afford, right, in the future, trying to inadequately service people though who are miles and miles away. We need to start thinking about getting our operations housed at a proper state-of-the-art facility that is built up from scratch, not one that is out on the fringes. And, you know, it would be great.
What's your point of order?
7.21F. I don't think Middle Swan is out in the fringes of the city.
Well, have a look at
well, I uphold that. Councillor?
Have a look at your geography. I'm afraid it's right down in the south of the city. And that's a fact. That's another fact. So, you know, you can try and pretend these things don't exist, but these are all facts, and we need to be planning for our service delivery in the future.
Councillors, I'll now put the motion to a vote. Those in favour? Councillor Catalano, Councillor Johnson and Councillor Howlett. Those against? Councillor Dean, Councillor Arango, Councillor McCulloch, Councillor Tarquino, Councillor Miles, Councillor Clun, Councillor Henderson, Councillor Predobnik and myself. So it's lost 3-9. Councillor Henderson, you foreshadowed the officer's recommendation.
Mr. Mayor, I move the motion as printed. If you want me to read it, I will.
No, I don't think that's necessary. I need a seconder. Can someone second Councillor Henderson's motion? Councillor McCulloch. Councillors, I dare say this item has been extensively debated. I don't think we need another round of debate. I will put it straight to a vote. Well, I know you're against it, but you've spoken. What else can you tell us? I mean, what I'm saying is that we're wasting time debating what's been debated for the past hour. But if you insist, so as presiding member, I make a decision to put it straight to a vote. Those in favour? Councillor Dean, Councillor Orengo, Councillor McCulloch, Councillor Tarquino, Councillor Miles, Councillor Coor, Councillor Henderson, Councillor Predovnik and myself, which is 9. Against, Councillor Catalano, Councillor Johnson and Councillor Howlett, 3. The motion is carried 9-3. Thank you, councillors. We'll now move on to the next item, which is item 14.4.1, which is the LifeVac devices for city managed facilities. And that is an item, as you recall, councillors, which was brought up at a previous council meeting, and it was moved by Councillor Predovnik and seconded by Councillor Howlett. But then the motion was put aside and no councillors had spoken on this item, so that Councillor Predovnik and Councillor McCulloch could collaborate and hopefully come up with a joint motion. So I'm going to hand over to Councillor Predovnik.
Question.
Yes.
Is anyone against it? Or I guess there's an amendment, is that correct? Do you call for an amendment? Oh, we've got the mover and the seconder, which is, it's already moved and seconded, and then we adjourned it. So, yeah.
So would it now be the appropriate time, Mr Deputy Mayor, for me to request an amendment?
Yes.
I therefore shall do that. My proposed amendment is to add a point 4.
Yes.
As per the screen, to seek feedback from community and sporting groups on installing these devices in the city's community centres, and if supported, provide a further report to council.
Thank you, Councillor McCulloch. I'll ask the mover, Councillor Predovnik, and the seconder, Councillor Howlett.
We need a seconder, and then it can be as an amendment.
Well, I accept it.
Well, I'm asking the mover and the seconder if they support the amendment, then there's no need for any debate. Do we still need a seconder?
We still need a seconder, Mr.
Councillor Miles is seconding.
Question.
What's your question, Councillor?
The first part talks about endorsing, and then the second part that we've just heard talks about a further report to council. Is that not a conflict?
Mr.
Through you,
Bishop?
the CEO advised that it wasn't a conflict. That's it, actually, in the report.
I don't think it is. Okay, so Councillor Predovnik and Councillor Howlett, you support the amendment, or Councillor Predovnik does, Councillor Howlett?
Yes.
Okay, so the mover and the seconder both support the amendment. So now that is part of the substantive motion.
Sorry, Mr. Deputy Mayor, if I could just clarify. This is not a variation, so it has to be treated as an amendment. So we have the mover, Councillor McCulloch, we have a seconder. So we now need to go to debate on it, if there is anybody who wants to vote against it. And then once resolved, it becomes part of the substantive motion.
Okay, well, I don't think there's anyone against.
If there's no one against, then it becomes part of the substantive
It is
motion.
part of the substantive motion because it's been accepted by the mover and the seconder, and there is no need for any debate. Councillor Catalano.
It appears we're changing the rules of these meeting procedures like just about every time we meet, because that's not how I remember we've done it in the past. So
We're not
you know,
changing the rules, Councillor.
yeah, well, I remember in the past it was a question of just asking the mover and the seconder, but
Well,
now,
we have.
now obviously we're doing something different again.
No.
I just want to bring that to the meeting's
Okay,
attention.
councillors, it's part of the substantive motion. Is there anyone against the substantive motion? Councillor Henderson. Do you need to debate it? Yes, Councillor Prodovnik.
Yeah, we do. Okay. So the officer's report acknowledges a key fact, that choking incidents are severe and the highest risk groups are children aged between 0 to 4 and adults over 65. These two age groups are frequent users of our leisure centres, libraries and community facilities. So the question before us tonight, Council, is simple. If we know the risk exists and we know who is most vulnerable, are we prepared to take reasonable steps to reduce that risk? And we already do this in a number of ways. We install defibrillators even though cardiac arrests are statistically rare. We mount fire extinguishers on buildings, hoping they are never needed. We stock pool safety equipment even though lifeguards are trained in water rescue. We don't wait for a tragedy to happen before we act. We actively take steps to mitigate foreseeable risk. And that's what this motion seeks to do tonight. Airway clearance devices are TGA approved, non-invasive, and designed to be used only after standard choking protocols have failed. They are not a replacement for first aid training. They are an additional layer of protection when first aid is unsuccessful. Importantly, there is no evidence that these devices cause harm when used properly. And in the case of LifeVac, for example, there is no training needed to use that device. Now, it's important to note airway clearance devices are already in place across schools, childcare centres, aged care facilities, airports, and through a number of other councils throughout Australia. This motion tonight asks for a measured rollout. It does not suggest a citywide rollout to every building, although there is a report potentially that may come if people want that. But tonight it targets 11 high-risk, high-usage facilities. It requires operational guidelines to integrate those airway-controlled devices with existing first aid procedures. As councillors, we routinely make decisions about preventative spending. We insure assets we hope never burn down, and we invest in safety equipment, as I've mentioned before. If even one child, one grandparent, or one community member survives because a device was available when first aid methods failed, well, that's money well spent. This motion recognises the risk and it aligns with our duty of care to the community we serve. For these reasons, I ask Council to please support this motion.
Thank you, Councillor Prodovnik. Councillor Howlett, as the seconder, you wish to speak?
No, nothing to add, thank you.
Thank you. I need a speaker against. Councillor Henderson.
Okay. Now, councillors, I'm all for community safety, and I think that is fundamental. We look at defibrillators. They have some use in assisting in our community, but we still have lots of heart attacks where they're not utilised. I just want to get down to the numbers, though. We should be looking at what is the value for the rate per dollar. Don't forget, we've got rates review coming up. And councillors, that's going to be something that we're going to have to be very sharp on. We're going to have to say, okay, what do we save our money on? Now, I just want to say why this won't work. It won't work because we're talking about 5,300 people worldwide that die, and there's 8.3 million people on the planet. That's 0.0000001%. 0.64 of a percent. Now, that, if you know anything about stats,
Point of
is-
order.
Councillor, what's your point of order?
6.81 relevance. We're not talking about the whole world. We're talking about the City of Swan installing it in those key facilities.
Thank you, Councillor Howlett. Councillor Henderson, please continue your debate, but with relevance to the city.
I beg to differ, Mr Mayor, as far as I'm concerned. It's completely relevant because we're talking about the statistical risk factor of the number of people, because now I want to break it down to the City of Swan. So in the City of Swan, we are a very small percentage of the world numbers, which is the number I just read out, a very, very small percentage. So, okay, let's break it down further. Childcare centres have them. That's where a majority of these issues occur with the kids that are away from home. That's the childcare centres covered. Aged care, similar problem. So this makes, when you add in the fact that they already have them and they become part of reducing the statistical number, it gets down even further about what the likelihood is going to be of something happening at one of our centres somewhere. So the fact of the matter is, when you get down to the numbers, and this is what it's all about, chances are that would be almost zero chance of a death occurring as a result of us not having one of these things. And then it's got to be within a reasonable distance of one of our facilities where this might be. And that breaks it down even further. So, councillors, we have a responsibility on our ratepayer dollar. We have to be very careful about what we spend this year, because we've just heard earlier that our expenditure is problematic, and that our rate cost this year is going to be severe. I'd use the word 6% maybe, 5%, 6%. And we haven't got there yet, but we've got a lot of carving out to do, councillors. I strongly recommend and foreshadow the officer's recommendation if we refuse this, because I do genuinely believe there is no value in it. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. I need a speaker for the motion. Councillor Orengo.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. Look, I thought I was going to stay out of the debate tonight, but I couldn't help myself. I've heard so much being said, so much by the speakers that spoke before me. But I thought I should just chime in a little bit as someone with a lived experience as a nurse myself. I have done far too many CPR in my life, in my short years of life, for my liking. And I can tell you, even as well-trained and equipped nurse I am, in emergency circumstances, one thing that I still find so traumatically difficult and quite traumatizing, and I don't want to imagine what it's like for parents having to deal with their own young children choking, let alone in community function space where kids have got numerous access to different foods, grapes, sausages. These are little things that causes choking hazards. I heard tonight, Councillor Henderson, you said rate value dollar. At what cost do we, as councillors in this chambers, put a price at community safety? At what cost? At what cost is the question I want every councillor to think about. Distance, I heard. It's not like the life vac is going to be put all the way, and I'm going to use Swan Active Beachborough, for example. It's going to be put outside, far away where the youth centre is, and there's not going to be any inside the actual aquatic centre, where it is predominantly used by a lot of families. I'm not feeling comfortable with the fact that we might, there's zero chances of this happening. Accidents happen, and we cannot determine when accidents happen, but I feel much more comfortable having a device available. Should we have grandparents who, I don't know, councillors, if I'm running out of time, but I don't know what I want to leave you with. I don't know if you've ever done CPR on a loved one and you are frantically panicking. You forget everything. I do too. So having this device there as a secondary option, should CPR fail, amazing. So I say let's support this motion. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Oringo. Do I have a speaker against? Any other speakers for? Councillor McCulloch.
Thank you, Mr. Deputy Mayor. Sitting down with Brian Boger over a year ago when I discussed bringing this motion to council for a report for the Life Facts, and sitting crying with him over the loss of his young son. Didn't realise I'd be in the same place over a year later. But it highlights the significance of loss. It highlights the significance of ensuring that we have the best possible resources available to provide first aid and responses. And as Councillor Oringo spoke, first aid situations are traumatic for bystanders, for responders on any level, especially those who may be inexperienced first aiders. Now, I appreciate the response from staff and the officer's recommendation, but it was disappointing. And there were different reasons within that that really didn't add up. And I think that you saw that Nathaniel Pickett, he provided that comprehensive critical review and rebuttal in regards to that. So I don't need to speak to that. This is a simple device. Place, push, pull. That's the training. It's not hard. I've got one in my car. I've got one at my home. Councillor Henderson, I have to respectfully disagree. What is the value for the ratepayer? I don't think you could put a value on a potential life saved. Just 2 days ago, a young girl choked significantly on a sausage over East. It was a significant airway obstruction. It wasn't just something small. And those significant airway obstructions are almost impossible to clear. The LifeVac device was highly effective in clearing that. But what this also does is it is a really, really effective device for first aid responders after looking at initial first aid responses for certain populations, people that attend our centres, infants, elderly, unconscious patients, people living with disability. And I can tell you it is really hard, and I'm sure that Councillor Oringo would probably agree with me, that trying to administer back blows, chest thrusts and abdominal thrusts to someone in a wheelchair is incredibly difficult. I won't keep going on in regards to a lot of these things, but it makes sense, and I've moved my amendment to ensure that we can look at ensuring parity and equity for all of our City of Swan residents in every single centre that our residents frequent. I think that is really, really important. This has been...
Councillor, you've used your time, the allocated time of 3
I'm
minutes.
fine, so please support...
Do you need an extension?
No, I'll have a quiet discussion with Councillor Henderson afterwards.
Thank you, Councillor McCulloch. I need a speaker against. No speakers against. Are there any other speakers for? Councillor Johnson.
Yeah, I'll keep it very brief. Councillors, it's a very interesting motion, this, and I have given the full 20-minute speech to Councillor Prodovnik over the phone. She knows why I'm in favour of it. But most of that I don't think is suitable for the council chamber. Look, councillors, it's about $10,000, and we've just voted for $55 million depot. We're not $10,000 is a drop in the ocean in our budget. We're not going to get rates down to less than CPI or even 0% by rejecting a $10,000 spend. It's not going to do it. These devices are not going to do any harm. They could potentially do a great deal of good. I see putting them in these locations as being a trial. We'll get some feedback. I think we should go ahead and do this. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Do I have any speakers against? Any further speakers for? There being no further speakers, Councillor Prodovnik, you wish to close the debate?
Okay, councillors. So Councillor Henderson spoke about the statistical risk factor of being a very small percentage. The City of Swan's own report acknowledges choking injuries are severe. Councillor McCulloch talked about sitting down with Brian Omondi, who she worked with when she first brought this issue to council a while ago. Now, you may remember Brian made a deputation about this item more recently, and we know he started a movement to raise awareness about the dangers of choking because he lost his son Zaza in 2024. We know airway clearance devices are in schools and daycare centres, and they're also available for parents to buy directly. And Brian is a big advocate of every parent buying one. And he thinks everyone should buy one and they should have them in their car and they should have them at home in their first aid kits. Councillor Henderson said the risk of death is low and there's no value in spending money for the ACDs because of that low risk. But a lady called Beck Wadawu would disagree. This week she did a post on social media thanking Brian because an airway clearance device saved the life of her 4-year-old daughter, Zendaya. Brian sent that message to all councillors today, but for those who may not have had time to check their emails before the meeting, she said that LifeVac saved her daughter just over a week ago. She is 4 and she was at a birthday party at Brampton Park. She had a sausage, as she always does, but swallowed it whole. She went limp and they just couldn't dislodge the sausage. Now, Beck used an airway clearance device because she's obviously one of those parents who has taken the advice and bought one and has one in the car. And her post said, I quote, "I hate to hear what happened to Zaza, but if it wasn't for Zaza, Zendaya wouldn't be here today." So it's these types of testimonies that remind us it's well worth the small financial investment, and it is such a small investment. Installing an airway clearance device at 11 venues listed in this motion would cost around $3,500 to install and maintain over the first 5 years. If even one life is saved, the investment has already paid for itself. For this small cost, council can add another layer of safety to the facilities our communities use every day. This is a small but significant step we can take. Please support this motion.
Thank you, Councillor Prodovnik. Councillors, I'm now going to put the motion to a vote. Those in favour? Councillor Catalano, Councillor Dean, Councillor Oringo, Councillor McCulloch, Councillor Taquino, Councillor Miles, Councillor Coor, Councillor Prodovnik, Councillor Johnson, Councillor Howlett and myself, which is 11. Against? Councillor Henderson. Motion's carried 11-1. Okay, we'll move on to the next item, councillors, which is item 15.1. And that is Councillor Henderson's revocation motion to revoke the decision of council on item 14.1.2. I'll hand over to Councillor Henderson. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor. Councillors, this is a two-part motion. The first is to address the revocation, and if that's successful, for my motion to then follow. So, councillors, I move that council resolve to 1, revoke the decision of council made on the 11th of February 2026 ordinary council meeting in regard to item 14.1.2 to not make the activities in thoroughfares and public places and trade local laws. Got the wrong glasses The reason for the revocation motion, councillors, is the local law is required to progress and be gazetted by 5th of December 26, and to ensure the City of Swan is compliant with the amendments to the Local Government Act 95 requires all local laws to be reviewed in accordance with its transitional provisions. So that is the first part, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. I need a seconder. Councillor Miles. Councillors, I'll remind you that on this item, for it to be carried, you need an absolute majority. I'll now ask the question, is there anyone against? Councillor Johnson, you wish to debate it?
Yes.
Okay. Councillor Henderson?
Councillors, at the last meeting, we should have had a foreshadowed motion to deal with this matter, and that didn't happen, so it fell away. The way to resolve that is to revoke that and to proceed. Whether we like the fact that the local laws are complete or not is a separate matter. The matter is to decide whether we should debate that. So, councillors, I think we need to progress from a city perspective. We do need to have local laws. I was, in fact, not very happy with some of the matters within what we saw in those local laws, and that may come out in discussion once we get to the next part. So, councillors, we do need to progress this such that the staff could go through the very lengthy process of state overview and then through to the Governor to be signed off under the Crown such that it becomes a law. So please support this so we can progress.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. Councillor Miles, as the seconder, you wish to speak?
I waive my right.
Okay. Councillor Johnson, you're against?
Yeah, I've just got a question actually. I wanted an explanation of it. My question is, how can we revoke a resolution that doesn't exist? If we didn't make a decision, there's no resolution. So therefore you can't revoke it, is my understanding. Maybe I'm wrong. Can someone help?
Mr. Acting CEO.
To you, Mr. Deputy Mayor, we did make a decision, and that's why the revocation motion is here.
Councillor Johnson, you're the only one that put his hand up to say he's against. You got nothing to add? You're still against? No? Well, in that case, we're not going to waste time. I'm going to put it straight to a vote. Those in favour of the revocation motion? Councillor Dean? Councillor Oringo, Councillor McCulloch, Councillor Tarquino, Councillor Miles, Councillor Kaur, Councillor Henderson, Councillor Predovnik, Councillor Johnson and myself. 10 those against. Councillor Catalano and Councillor Howlett. So it's 10-2, it's carried. Okay, Councillor Henderson.
Thank you, councillors. I move that the council resolve to propose to make the City of Swan activities and trading in thoroughfares and public place law, local law 2026 as amended at the 11th of February 2026 Ordinary Council meeting and advertise the council's intent for a period of not less than 6 weeks in accordance with section 3.12 of the Local Government Act 1995. And 2, the CEO is to ensure that any staff, including rangers, are trained on the implications and exemptions under policy C161, election signs as amended.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. Do I have a seconder? Councillor McCulloch. Okay, before we proceed, I will read out the purpose of this local law is to provide for the regulation, control and management of activities on local government property throughout the district, and the effect of this local law is to establish the requirements with which any persons using or on thoroughfares or local government property or wanting to trade on local government property within the district must comply. Now, is there anyone against?
Question.
Yes.
It's the same questions before, but this time with more information. So at section 11.1 of the meeting procedure local law, it says this: a member may give notice of a motion that proposes to revoke or change a previous resolution of council. So we can only revoke resolutions, we can't revoke votes. So I'm just questioning whether this is a valid thing to do. Is it lawful to revoke something that doesn't exist?
Well, yes. I can tell you that it is lawful. If it wasn't, the CEO would not have accepted the rescission motion, but I will refer to Mr. Peter Lee, our legal advisor.
Through the chair, I've previously given advice to the CEO that it's still a decision of council and it can still be revoked.
Yeah, but I think Mr. Lee needs to read 11.1. It's pretty clear that it's about changing previous resolutions. There's no resolution to revoke. We can't actually revoke it.
Mr. Lee, Councillor Johnson is saying that there's no previous resolution to revoke. Is that correct?
Through the chair, no, it's not. It's still a decision of council that can be revoked.
Okay, we're going to proceed. Councillors, we've got a motion from Councillor Henderson and it's been seconded by Councillor McCulloch. Is there anyone against? You're against? You wish to debate it?
No, I don't really want
No.
to speak on it.
Okay, well, no one against, so I'm going to put it straight to a vote. Those in favour? Councillor Dean, Councillor Orengo, Councillor McCulloch, Councillor Tequero, Councillor Miles, Councillor Kerr, Councillor Henderson, Councillor Prodovnik, Councillor Johnson and myself, and against Councillor Catalano and Councillor Howlett. Motion is carried 10 to 2. 10-1. 10-1, no, 10-2, sorry.
You have the right to adjourn for 10 minutes if you want to.
No. No. Okay, councillors, that deals with that item. Review permitted. So the next item on the agenda, councillors, is item 15.2. Now, this was an item that was put forward by Councillor Bowman, and Councillor Bowman, not being able to be here, has requested that Councillor Henderson deals with this motion on his behalf, and that is the review of the permitted trailer size at the Bullsbrook Recycling Centre. And I hand over to Councillor Henderson. Thank you, Councillor.
Councillors, I move this motion in Councillor Bowman's stead. The council resolve to 1. Request the CEO to initiate a review of the maximum size of trailers permitted to be used at the Bullsbrook Recycling Centre, and 2. This matter is discussed during the FY 26-27 budget workshop, allowing for it to be considered in the report to council on proposed fees and charges for the financial year 26-27. And the reason, which is extensive, do you want me to read all the reasons? Because everyone's had a chance to read it.
I don't think you need to, Councillor. I think
Unless someone
most
wants me to.
councillors know how to read, and I'm pretty sure that they've already read them.
So I'll leave it
So
as read.
I will call for a seconder. Do I have a seconder to Councillor Henderson's motion? Councillor Miles. Is there anyone against? No one against. I declare it carried unanimously. I now move to the next item, which is item 15.3. And once again, this was a motion that was put forward by Councillor Bowman, and he has requested Councillor Oringo to take over and put this forward on his behalf. So I hand over to Councillor Oringo.
Question.
Question, yes.
Under what section of the meeting procedures local law is that, please, just so I've got reference?
Acting CEO.
Just a moment, Mr. Deputy Mayor.
Mr. Peter Lee, do you know the...
Stephanie in here, I'm just finding the section.
No? If a councillor can't be at a council meeting, they have the prerogative to have another councillor put the motion forward on their behalf with the approval of the presiding members. Now, if that's different, then...
Yes, I'm just wondering what section or where that is in the meeting procedures local law, so I can identify it.
2?
Sorry, it's 2.9, 10C.
10C.
Yeah,
I'm
so
getting-
page 10.
It's definitely in there, Mr. Deputy Mayor. I'm just trying to find it. 10C. has
Councillor
been-
Howlett, page 10.
Page 10.
Page 10.
Yeah, item C, it says a member who gave the notice or another member authorised by him or her moves the motion when called on, or the council resolves to defer the consideration. Councillor Oringo, please resume.
Thank you. And just to set the record straight for everybody, that permission was given in writing on the 12th of March.
Yes, all councillors received it, I'm pretty sure of it.
This is 15.3, that council resolves to 1, request the CEO provide a report to a future meeting of council on current inspection and fire mitigation measures, including fire breaks undertaken on all city-owned and controlled reserves, with a particular focus on those reserves close to residential areas. 2, that the report in Resolution 1 above include recommendations on any bushfire risk management actions to improve risk management. 3, that the report in Resolution 1 also advise on current strategies to address bushfire risk management on state-controlled land and recommendations on strengthening advocacy to state government departments responsible for land management to reduce bushfire risks where relevant. Do I need to read out the reasons for the...
No, I don't think so, councillor. Seconded, councillor Henderson. I'm going to ask the question. Is there anyone against?
Sorry, just a question. I thought that a reason had to be provided for a motion.
The reason is there. I just says that Councillor Oringo didn't have to read it because...
Just for the benefit of those at home.
Councillor Oringo, you wish to read the reason? It's not very long.
Yeah, that's all right. Thanks, Councillor Howlett. The reason for the motion provided by Councillor Bowman is 1, the recent bushfires in Ellenbrook has highlighted the risks of bush reserves that are in close proximity to residential properties. These fires impacted a number of land reserves, and some of which are not under the control of the city, and require bushfire risk management by state government departments. The city should ensure it is managing its land to the same standards as it requires the City of Swan landowners to adhere to, that it is advocating strongly to the state government to manage its land too.
Thank you, Councillor Oringo. I'll ask the question again. Is there anyone against? Yes. You wish to debate it? No. No. Since there's no request for debate, I'm going to put it straight to a vote. Those in favour? Councillor Dean, Councillor Orengo, Councillor McCulloch, Councillor Taquino, Councillor Miles, Councillor Coor, Councillor Henderson, Councillor Predovnik, Councillor Johnson, Councillor Howlett and myself. Against, Councillor Catalano. So it's 11-1. Motion's carried 11-1. We'll move to the next item, councillors. And that is 15.4. And that is a notice of motion put forward by Councillor Howlett, the Principal Shared Paths Community Benefit in Midland. Councillor Howlett.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor. My motion is that the Council resolve to 1, for the CEO to provide a report to Council. Actually, I'd like to amend it if I can to remove that section by June 26.
Yep.
On the community benefit in providing a principal shared path, PSP, linking existing sporting facilities in Midland. 2, to include but not be limited to the cost of a PSP connecting North Swan Park Midland, Patterson Drive, to Swan Active Midland and the skate park Midvale. And 3, identify funding opportunities to assist in the delivery of such a PSP. The reason for my motion is 1, the dual bike and pedestrian pathway represents a strategic future-focused investment in community health, connectivity and livability, while maximising the value of existing infrastructure and enabling sustainable growth in for Midland. 2, to understand the financial implications and social benefit, Council will need this report should it decide to proceed with a PSP connecting these existing sporting facilities in Midland. And 3, the motion was not able to be presented by an elector at the 2026 annual electors meeting. And as a ward councillor for the Midland area, I am happy to present it as a motion for Council to consider.
Thank you, Councillor Howlett. Do I have a seconder? Councillor Miles. I'll ask the question. Is there anyone against? Yes, I am. There is. Do we need to debate it? No. No? Councillor Henderson? No? Okay, if there's no need to debate, I'm going to...
I would like to debate it.
You wish to debate it?
I do.
Well, you're the mover. There's no one against. Or there is against, but...
Any councillor can choose to speak.
Get up and speak. Yes, councillor.
I beg your pardon, get up and speak?
No, councillor.
Sorry, that's what I heard.
Yes, well, you want to debate it.
Yes, I would, thank you, Deputy Mayor Zanino. I would like to debate it.
You have my permission as presiding officer member for you to get up and open the debate.
Thank you. Councillors, this was a motion. This motion duplicates a motion that was to be presented at the February electors meeting. However, the resident was not confident presenting it in a public forum and the motion was withdrawn. Someone's confidence to speak in public doesn't invalidate the worth of this motion, and that is why I have brought it here tonight as a notice of motion. Councillors, this is a request for a report to Council that effectively provides connectivity through the key community assets of Midland. And importantly, it requests the CEO to seek funding to support and assist in the provision of such a PSP. Please support it.
Thank you, councillor. The seconder... the seconder is Councillor Miles.
Sorry, I pinched that from you. I just want to say I think this is a great motion, and I think if we take this approach to everywhere in the city, it's great that we link these major, activity centres or mine activity centres with good, walking and cycling opportunities, especially for the health and well-being of our community. So let's do it in Midland and let's do it everywhere. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Miles. I need a speaker against. Councillor Henderson.
Seems to be my problem tonight. Councillors, I just want to bring you to the officer's comment. Transport such as an investigation would likely not support adding the link as it is close to and provides the same connectivity as routes already proposed in the LTCN, which is the local term cycle network, I think, long term, yeah. So that's really the fundamental here. We're going to burn officers' time coming up with something that hasn't been, doesn't have a likelihood of going anywhere.
Thank you, Councillor Henderson. Councillor Johnson, you're speaking in favour?
Yes, I am, and thank Councillor Miles for seconding that. I had my hand up ready to go, but you got there first. Look, councillors, I think the officer comment brings to council's attention the existence of the long-term cycle network plan that was adopted in 2020. At that time, there was some feedback on it, but I think this particular suggestion is a good one. It's not about going ahead and doing it. It's about asking the CEO to report on the feasibility of it. I think it's inevitable after 5 years. People out there in the community might have different ideas, and so it's reasonable to consider making this amendment to the long-term cycle network plan. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor Johnson. Do I have a speaker against? No speakers against. Are there any other speakers for? No speakers for or against. Councillor Howlett, you wish to close the debate?
No, thank you. We can go straight to the vote. Thank you.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillors, I'll now put it to the vote. Those in favour? Councillor Ringo, Councillor McCulloch, Councillor Tarquino, Councillor Miles, Councillor Prodobnik, Councillor Johnson and Councillor Howlett. Those against? Councillor Catalano, Councillor Dean, Councillor Kerr, Councillor Henderson and myself. That's 5. Motion's carried 7-5.
Just a quick note, it's Councillor Takiro.
Takiro. Apologies, Councillor.
It's Councillor Carr.
Councillor Carr. Apologies to you, Councillor.
That's okay.
Okay, councillors, it's been a long night and we've come to the end. We're up to 17 notice of motions for consideration at the following meeting if given during the meeting. That is it, and then closure.
Councillor Bowman has one, and I have one that I would like to bring forward to the next meeting as well.
Yes,
Deputy
and
Mayor.
Councillor.
It'll be that council will prepare a report on the available control methods for foxes in the city of Swan in conjunction with DVCA, and to identify available funding to progress control methods in diversity hotspots.
Thank you, and also Councillor Howlett has one, which she's already distributed to all councillors. On that note, councillors, before you leave, you do have the confidential files, the red ones. Please leave the confidential files with the contents inside. Don't just leave the folder on the desks. Thank you. And on that note, I thank you all for your attendance and I declare the meeting closed at 9:19.